Yes, sir.
Welcome to this webinar on how to manage angular leaf spot in the conventional seedbed. My name is Charles Karavina. I'm going to present on behalf of my colleague who is not at work today. We're going basically to look at what angular leaf spot is, how it develops, and the control options which are available. For most of the control options, we are going to zero in on chemical control because that's the main method of controlling the disease that is implemented here in Zimbabwe. So angular leaf spot is a bacterial disease caused by Pseudomonas syringae pathova tabaki. And this angular leaf spot is caused by a non-toxin producing bacteria. There is also a toxin producing bacterium which causes what is called wildfire. So in most cases, you will hear of wildfire and angular leaf spot being caused by the same bacteria. But wildfire is caused by a toxin producing Pseudomonas syringae pathova tabaki. And then angular leaf spot is produced by Pseudomonas syringae pathova tabaki, which is non-toxin producing. So the TOX minus stands for non-toxin producing Pseudomonas syringae pathova. Okay, so angular leaf spot is an economically important disease that affects tobacco both in the seedbed and in the field. So for the purpose of this presentation, we're going to focus on angular leaf spot in the seedbed. And also, we're going to mainly look at angular leaf spot in the conventional seedbed. We don't have a lot of problems with angular leaf spot in the float tray system. So angular leaf spot, if left unchecked, can cause up to 70% yield loss in the seedbed. And like I said, it is not a major problem in the float tray system. However, in the conventional system, it can affect the quality of seedlings, causing distorted seedlings, which if you transfer them to the field and plant them in the field, they will not be able to perform to the best of their abilities. A lot of work has been done on angular leaf spot and the bacterium that causes it. It has been characterized and it has been found that there are distinct races of the bacterium that cause angular leaf spot. In Zimbabwe, there is race 0, race 1, which have been reported to be present. In other parts of the world, there is also race 2. At Kutaga, our varieties have been bred for resistance to races 0 and 1, but not to race 2. What are the symptoms of angular leaf spot? On my left, we have some spots, those irregular necrotic spots. They start off very small, and then over time, they enlarge. And ultimately, they can join together to cause those brown patches that you see on the right. So that's angular leaf spot. Basically, it's irregular necrotic lesions, start off very small, then they build up, become very big, join together, and then ultimately you get the whole leaf turning brown, dead, of dead tissues. So you can see that leaf is no longer good for anything if it gets to that. Like I said, it's caused by a bacterium. This bacterium survives in plant debris in the soil or on dried leaves that can be on the surface of the soil, and also infected seed. So it's a seed-borne pathogen. It also lives on dead organic remains. Okay. However, if you plant the residues into the soil, the bacterial population goes down very rapidly. So it's a poor pathogen in the soil. But as long as the residues remain intact, the pathogen can survive for a very long time. That's why it's recommended to destroy stalks so that you don't get carried over of the pathogen, right? In addition, the pathogen is carried by rain splashes or wind-driven rain, and also by wind. So whenever you irrigate using sprinkler irrigation, you are likely to disperse the pathogen. This is one of the reasons why it's not so much of a problem in the float tray systems as compared to the conventional seedbed. It's also spread by insects like your beetles, your aphids, and whiteflies. So you need to be controlling those pests to minimize the spread of the problem in the seedbed. It also survives on wild hosts, especially solanaceous weeds like your Datura stramonium, Nicandra phylloscoides. Those weeds would actually perpetuate this problem if you have it at your site. And during the season, if you handle your plants, you could actually transmit the pathogen from one plant to the other and therefore contribute to the buildup of the disease in the field. What are the ideal conditions for the establishment of angular leaf spot? So this is a disease which requires wet conditions. So if you have incessant rains, if you are going to be using overhead irrigation, that creates a microclimate in which angular leaf spot thrives. So in conventional seedbeds, for example, because we use a lot of sprinkler irrigation, that is very conducive for the buildup of this problem. And then in the field, you'd realize that whenever it gets overcast, this problem also spreads very rapidly. So the ideal temperature for the building up of this disease is in the range of 26 to 32 degrees Celsius. So in addition to the environmental conditions that I've talked about, you also need a host which is susceptible to the pathogen. You also need a pathogen which is virulent. And we have noted that in Zimbabwe, this problem is problematic, especially in the eastern districts of the country. How do you control angular leaf spot? There are several options that are available. Firstly, if you use seed from Kutaga, it is certified seed, and we have bred our varieties for some level of resistance to angular leaf spot. Secondly, we said this pathogen lives on alternative hosts, which could be weeds or on plant debris. Maybe you had tobacco last season and there was this problem, this pathogen can live there. If you incorporate residues into the soil and if they don't thoroughly decompose, you are likely to get inoculum from the residues. So it's also recommended as a control measure to sterilize your soil before you do any sowing. And then in the seedbed, as you clip your seedlings, as you do your cultural practices, it's important that you sterilize your hands, you sterilize your tools so that you minimize the spreading of the pathogen. Also important, you need to manage your fertilizer regime. Do not over-fertilize your seedlings, especially with nitrogen. That tends to create succulent plants which are very prone to infection by this pathogen. And secondly, it has also been found that low nitrogen also promotes development, low potassium promotes the development of this disease. And high lime also promotes development of this disease. So you need to be very careful with your nitrogen, your potassium, and also your liming. Then do not plant diseased seedlings. Normally, if you don't know the status of your seed, you're likely to start in the seedbed with diseased seedlings, which you transport to the field and therefore spread this disease. And ultimately, you would therefore get high losses if you start off with disease seedlings in the first week of planting in the field. Maybe the most commonly used method of controlling angular leaf spot is chemical control. So for chemical control, there are several registered products that are being used in the seedbed. Maybe the most common ones include some copper-based formulations, which I'm going to talk about in detail later on. There's also Bion, which has been around for over 30 years. There are new products that we have recently registered, including Serenade and AgriGold. So those are some of the products which are available to manage angular leaf spot in the seedbed. And all those products are used from 6 to 8 weeks after sowing. And as we shall see in the next slide, there are different rates of application and also frequencies of application. For copper-based bactericides like copper oxychloride, there is an 85% formulation and a 60% formulation. For the copper oxychloride 85% WP, in the seedbed, we recommend you apply 300 grams in 10 liters of water as a high volume spray. 300 grams in 10 liters of water as a high volume spray. And you do up to 6 sprays during the seedbed season. If it's a low volume spray, you apply 150 grams per 10 liters. Sorry, 150 grams per liter and 300 grams per liter. And again, it's up to 6 sprays. The 60% formulation for copper oxychloride, for high volume sprays, you apply 425 mils in 10 liters of water. For the low volume, ultra low volume sprays, you apply 212 milliliters per liter and 425 milliliters per liter. And again, it's up to 6 sprays per season. Okay, I'm talking of the seedbed season here. The other formulation of copper that can be used to control angular leaf spot is the cupric hydroxide 77% WP. This one is also registered. For this one, the high volume spray rate is 150 grams in 10 liters of water. And then the ultra low volume rate is 75 grams per liter and 150 grams per liter. So the ultra low volumes are mainly for the first 2 sprays that you do. Then there's also copper ammonium acetate. Copper ammonium acetate. This one, you apply 400 mils in 10 liters of water, and it's applied from 4 weeks after emergence at 7-day intervals. From 4 weeks after emergence at 7-day intervals. I must remind you that these copper-based fungicides are important because they offer some protection to your seedlings. So it's better you protect your seedlings even before you see the symptoms of angular leaf spot appearing in the field. The other products that we have, maybe the most commonly used one is Bion, acetylbenzoyl S-methyl. This one is applied also from 6 to 9 weeks after plant emergence, weeks after sowing, 6 to 9 weeks after sowing. And for this product, we recommend 2 sprays during the seedbed season. And the recommended rate is 12.5 grams in 10 liters of water. We don't recommend more than 2 sprays because it becomes sub-economic for you to do so. The other product that I was talking about that we have recently registered for the control of angular leaf spot in the seedbed is Serenade, or this one is a biocontrol agent, Bacillus subtilis. Okay, so for this product, you apply 400 mils in 10 liters of water, again from 6 to 9 weeks after sowing, and up to 4 sprays during the seedbed season. Lastly, the product that also recently registered is called AgriGold, and this is a mixture of natural minerals with a sticker. For the natural mineral, we recommend 40 mils in 10 liters of water. For the sticker, 7.5 mils in 10 liters of water. And again, this is applied from 4 weeks after emergence at 14-day intervals. So there are several products that you can actually use in the seedbed to manage or to prevent the buildup of angular leaf spot. We also have other products that we are still testing, and in subsequent seasons, we'll be adding to this range of products that we have for now. So all the chemical control options that are recommended in the conventional system are applied using a knapsack sprayer. And like I said, I've been talking of 10 liters of water, 300 grams copper oxychloride in 10 liters of water, 12.5 grams of bion in 10 liters of water. That 10 liters of water is enough to cover 1 hectare of the conventional seedbed, which is approximately 90 to 100 square meters. In conclusion, we strongly recommend farmers to use registered bactericides to control angular leaf spot. How do you see that this product is registered? Basically, each product should have a TRB registration number indicating that the product has been tested to control angular leaf spot. Secondly, we also recommend that farmers apply preventive treatments from 6 weeks after sowing. They should come in and do preventive sprays. It's better they prevent disease development than wait for the disease to set in and then try to control it. Sometimes they might fail to effectively control it afterwards. So prevention is better than cure here. Thirdly, we also recommend that farmers should read the instructions on the label for the application rates and also how to apply the products. Okay, and lastly, for this upcoming season, 2024-25, we are expecting it to be a La Nina season with a lot of rains. So be prepared to deal with angular leaf spot both in the seedbed and in the field. So we are advising farmers to purchase chemicals now in preparation for what is expected to be a La Nina season, where we're going to have lots of angular leaf spots, lots of other foliar diseases. Thank you very much. That's a quick run through the angular leaf spot disease and how to manage it. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Please shoot.
I've got a question. I'd like to ask, is it too late to apply Bion? Let's say my seedlings are more than, the time is past 6 to 9 weeks of emergence. Is it too late? Maybe it's 12 weeks after emergence.
Do you have the do you have the angular leaf spot problem in your seedbed?
No, we don't.
So I would advise you let sleeping dogs lie low, because this is
Okay.
quite a it's quite an expensive product. So let sleeping dogs lie low. We also realize that this angular leaf spot is more of a problem in certain parts of the country than in others. So maybe where you are growing is not so much of a problem, and if you don't have it, then it's okay. You can just let sleeping dogs lie low. Are there any other questions? Hello? Are we still there?
Yes, we are still here, but no question from me.
No questions? Okay, thank you.
Hello. Oh, I've got a question.
Please, can I have the question?
Okay, I wanted to ask if copper, oxchloride, and Bion are they supposed to be used as substitute, or you can apply both as preventive measures?
You can alternate. You can alternate them.
Okay.
Yeah, copper oxychloride is a protectant fungicide, protectant bactericide. It will protect your seedling from infection. And then Bion, it induces systemic resistance in the plant again, so that whenever there is going to be infection, the plant is ready for the invader. In this case, the bacterium.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So we are still recommending that as part of an integrated approach to the management of angular leaf spot, farmers should use the chemicals that we have listed there, and also the other option that we mentioned earlier on. Residues, very important. Destruction of stalks, destruction of plant residues, the sterilization of the seedbed site, that is also very important. Nutrient management in the soil, also very important. And also, of course, growing varieties which are known to have been tested for resistance to angular leaf spot. And in this case, we are encouraging farmers to try the Kutsaga varieties because they have been tested. We note that there are farmers who are using some genetics of unknown status, and that could potentially be hazardous to their business. Are there any other questions?
Hi, Mr. Karavina.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I would like to find out, are we having this presentation because we have identified that there is angle leaf spot, or it's just preventative, if I may ask, sir?
Thank you. Every season we have issues of angular leaf spot in the seedbed. So as a way of encouraging farmers to take some precautions, we felt it necessary to warn people of the likelihood of angular leaf spot occurring, and also then how to deal with the problem. And secondly, like I said, in the coming season, 24-25 is going to be a La Nina season. And if you have infected seedlings being transplanted in the field, you are likely to suffer severe losses. So we are advising farmers to take precautionary measures, because we're likely to get a severe outbreak of leaf spot in this coming season. But like I said again, there are some areas where it's a problem, especially if you're in the eastern districts of the country. We have noted that angular leaf spot is quite prevalent there. In other districts, it's not so much of a problem. But like I said, in a La Nina season, anything can happen. Even in non-traditionally angular leaf spot hotspot regions, you could get the problem. So it's better farmers prepare for the problem before it comes to hit them.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. Are there any more questions or comments? If there are no more questions or comments, I think we can stop here. Thank you very much for attending this webinar. We will be producing a deer grower to accompany this webinar on how to manage angular leaf spot and other diseases in the seedbed in the coming week or so. Thank you very much.
Thank you.